Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Geek Center. My name is Corey Morset. I'm your right honorable geek minister of the movie Trivia Face-Off. Just coming off another classic battle that we had this past Thursday between Nazario Montenegro and Caleb Coho. And to help me break down that match is none other than the Maniac himself, a member of the League of Shadows. It's Mark, the Maniac Camire. How's it going, Mark?
Corey, it's wonderful to be here. Thank you for finally having me on the Geek Center.
I have to apologize. I meant to get you on here sooner, but you know.
Well, you know, troubled times out there in the world, and troubled times here in the face-off. Sure, I understand. I can forgive that. You're a decent fellow. I will humbly accept your apology.
Well, thank you very much. And I should say, we had you on the desk for this past match, and you did a tremendous job.
Well, thank you. It's fun to be on the desk and to call the geek matches, especially ones that I don't participate in. Therefore, I can scold the ones that are involved in them.
Now, unfortunately, Mark, here we are, 11 matches, 12 matches into Season 2. Haven't had you in a match yet. Just the stars haven't aligned quite right yet. But you're a big presence in the Geektacular division. I just wanted to get your take on what's been happening in the Geektacular division here in Season 2.
In a word, hysteria, and I mean that in the best possible way, because everyone in the movie Trivia Face-Off is all geared up for the big event, and of course we know that to be World War Geek. How many competitors is it going to be in total, Corey?
You know what, I was actually counting them up. We're probably going to be over the 30 mark at this point. We're looking at maybe 32, 33.
It's the Royal Rumble of the movie Trivia Face-Off. All over 30 geek competitors battling it out, one after the other, in a process of elimination until there is one left standing. I mean, this was obviously something that needed to happen, I think, because there's just so many people that are excited and enthusiastic about the Geektacular realm. Obviously, look how many people we have involved in this thing. So a competition of this stature absolutely needed to happen. I, for one, have been excited about it, and I know my boys in the League of Shadows have been chomping at the bits for this thing, including and not limited to our fearless leader, Ruben.
Of course, and you've all got your ticket punched. You're all in the big match. Some of you with a few more opportunities to get that coveted number 30 than others, but still, you've made it in. You don't have to go through the qualifier, which is right now looking like it's going to be at least a 10-man qualifier. You have to slog through that just to get into the main match. So I'm glad that you guys are looking forward to World War Geek. So am I. During this whole quarantine business, I was even tempted to bump it up a couple months. Let's just do it next weekend. But, of course, can't do that.
Well, yeah, it wouldn't have been completely unfounded, because there are so many of us out there that are just bored, if you can believe it, that we're just bored, but we're watching movies, we're studying, we're learning, we are ready for this event. I know.
Well, I know you're one of my dark horse candidates in World War Geek, Mark. Very impressive against Jackson Lantner, I believe, was your first match. Is that correct?
The Lantern was my very first match and my first geek match. And if I'm not mistaken, Corey, maybe the numbers have been changed since then, but if I'm not mistaken, I was the points leader after that match in the geek realm.
Yeah, after that time, I believe you were. And then, of course, your second match against Ruben Cologne, just a bad day. It's really all it kind of comes down to. You're a top 10 competitor, currently sitting at number 17 in the rankings just because you had one bad day.
Well, I've said it before when I made my intentions clear recently. That was a humbling experience. Ruben needed to show me the way. And unfortunately, sometimes there is this sort of thing called harsh, tough love, harsh punishment in order to prove a point. Ruben needed to prove a point, and he proved it with me. You know, unfortunately, it had to be me, but I needed to see the light in order to see my way into the shadows. And but also, Corey, let's make no mistake, that was my third match. But on record, fine, second. But I don't want to open that can of worms. It's fine.
And I should also point out, too, Ruben played a perfect match to beat you in that second match. So,
well, that should tell you a lot, that in order to take me down, you have to play a perfect match. There is no in between.
Very good. Now, this past week, we had a very good match that a lot of people weren't expecting to be a good match. It was Nazario Montenegro, a top flight singles competitor, had only one geek match under his belt at the time, taking on Caleb the Mad King Coho, who has a knockout victory, I think, to his name, or not quite a knockout, and then took Robert Parker deep into the third round in his only loss. So everyone was thinking this should be easy pickings for Caleb Coho, but that's not the way it turned out. And you, for one, my friend, were the one that called it and said, you know what, I think Nazario is going to take this one.
I did, because much like his his monocle, Mad King, would ensue, Coho's crazy. He's not in his right mind, and he's certainly not in his right mind if he thinks he can just step into the geek realm and take over. Sorry. And if someone who wasn't even prepared for the geek realm, like Nazario, comes in and takes him out, well, I mean, enough said, am I right? However, not that I want to give him too much credit, because, well, why would I do that? He's a false king. But Coho did, he did get a perfect first round. He went all the way. He didn't get his bonus, but he got 10 points in that first round, and that was impressive. Even I had to go, way to go, way to go. But as we pointed out in the match, it's all about that second round, and Coho did not do what I thought he might do, which was completely sweep up the steals. He didn't do it, and that looked to be like his undoing.
No, that's a great point, because Nazario spun Pirates of the Caribbean, which I believe is what Caleb put on the wheel.
Oh, that was one. I get like Jack Sparrow with a bottle of rum. He was salivating at the opportunity. I saw it in his eyes. He wasn't shy about it, and I knew. I made a comment during the match that it would behoove Nazario not to miss any of these questions, and but maybe it was the overconfidence that really sunk the ship of Coho's confidence there. But yeah, you tell me.
Well, and Nazario played it smart too, going to multiple choice, limiting the amount of points that Coho could steal. Coho ended up stealing a couple of points, but it ended up not mattering much, because, of course, once Caleb goes through his round, didn't score that many either. So we're still pretty close coming out of round 2, and then round 3. Once you get in the 3 and 5 pointers, I personally thought Caleb's 3-pointer was more like a 5-pointer, like the composer of Transformers the movie. That's a toughie.
It is, and it's especially tough when you are answering a question of a movie that is, 2 generations ahead of you? How old is Coho? 10, 13? I don't know. But very, very, very young. And that movie, I mean, how many people actually take the time to take into account Transformers, the animated movie, into our realm? Well, I'll tell you who. Real geektacular competitors. But, you know, that's all I'll say about the Mad King, as it were.
So you're saying that a learned geektacular competitor would know the composer of Transformers the movie?
I'm just saying he would know to ask the questions of maybe his faction mates or people of other leagues and realms, but it doesn't help if you don't retain the information yourself. You can ask the questions all you want to others, but if you don't know it, it'll come back and bite you, and consider himself bitten.
Absolutely. Then we get to his 5-pointer, which again is a Back to the Future question. His first 5-pointer against Robert Parker was a pretty easy one if you've seen the movies. Here we go with a little tougher one for a 5-pointer. But again, if you've seen the movies, it's pretty easy. So at this point, you got to be looking at Caleb Cohen and saying, just watch these damn movies.
It's true. It's true. And he's made it pretty clear that he has no interest in watching those movies, which, okay. But, you know, that's his journey. This whole thing is his journey. And if he wants to do it half, you know what, then by all means, you're going to keep getting these questions and you're going to keep missing them. And Nazario, he was ready. You could see how ready he was for a question like that. He would not have hesitated. But alas, it didn't matter.
Maybe the difference between competitors there. You got one competitor who thinks they don't need to study as much, who maybe won't reach the levels of a Nazario Montenegro, who played pretty well against Jake Marignoni in the singles championship at the Funtacular last year. So are you looking at a competitor like Nazario as being a little superior to a Caleb Coho? Just the way they prepare for a match?
I mean, taking my bias completely out of this, I'm thinking many competitors are superior above the Mad King Caleb Coho, anyone who considers themselves a king in these leagues, I'm going to automatically assume you're a jester, and everyone else around you are far more royal and regal. And Nazario kind of proved my point.
Well, there's not many kings left. You know, Ishan gone, Prudvi gone. You guys even had to you didn't have to even play him.
I remember Prudvi. Yeah, didn't I already take Prudvi out once?
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah. Just yeah. Anyway, I digress.
So I'd be remiss if we didn't talk about the end of the match last week. You were in your post match with Andrew the Elk Kelk, and were interrupted by Ryan Caramel Mountain Pain. Now, you two have had a little back and forth. He was on Geek Center last week with his manager, Alex Mack, and I know you took exception to some things he said on there.
You know, I used to be a big fan of The Secret Life of Alex Mack. It was a wonderful program when I was at... Oh, you mean his loudmouth manager. Yeah, her. The one that doesn't really understand the game. She just likes to run her mouth. Yeah, I'm aware. I watched the show. I had to. Someone, one of our boys in the league, informed me that the league was mentioned on the show, and I said, "Oh, go on. Let me find out for myself." And to my surprise, not only was the league mentioned in great detail, but my name was brought up. You tell me how many times, and it was brought up very well, it rubbed me the wrong way, especially coming out of the mouth of Ryan Payne, the Caramel Mountain, whom I've had dealings with before in the past. I've taken him out in debate. We've played trivia, I think, before in a sort of a group setting, but never one-on-one. And I've always found that to be quite interesting. And here he is on your show, selling the good name of Geek Center with his rhetoric about how he doesn't like what I did to the Scribs. I don't even like that name. Do you like that name, Scribs? What is a Scribs? What even is that? My God, I can't believe it took me this long to open my eyes to that. It's insane. But Ryan Payne doesn't like the way I do things. Doesn't like the words I say to someone who can't even understand the words, like Scribs. Well, I didn't see Ryan Payne coming to his defense. I didn't see Ryan Payne answering the call to the long gone fraction. Now, did I? Where was Ryan Payne when the fraction was formed? He didn't answer Scribs' call, did he? And he wants to call me out and say, "Oh, I don't appreciate your disloyalty." My disloyalty? Bro, as the kids say. You have no. I'm speaking to Ryan right now out there in internet land. You wouldn't know loyalty if it climbed the Caramel Mountain and slid all the way down. You wouldn't know. You wouldn't know what loyalty is. You are in a faction that's led by someone who uses the platform just to yap her gap, and you don't get any words or thoughts to yourself. She has to speak for you. So don't talk to me about loyalty. Anyway, so I'm sorry, Corey. I don't mean to go on a tangent, but this is the things these people do to me sometimes.
No, I understand, and I know you have a lot to say, which I have a little surprise for you, because I placed a call and I was able to track down Ryan the Caramel Mountain Pain, and he's here with us today. Hello, Ryan.
Of course.
Oh. Hey, what's up, Corey? Yeah, I heard what Mark was saying, and you know, Mark, I do want to give you some credit. You are right. I don't know. I did not answer the call to the fraction because early before on in this league, like many players, I did not want to be part of a group because I thought they would hold me down, or most likely they would hinder me, which you kind of proved me right. You proved me right. You proved half of my argument right when you left the fraction to join the League of Shadows. But I will also give you credit. You did open my eyes and realize that groups do get you matches. Groups get you noticed around here. No matter how many times you want to be on everyone's good side, no matter how many times you want to be, you want to be there to help somebody out. It's obviously clear. People want an inner circle. People want a group, a family that they can be a part of. And you can talk about Alex all you want, because I don't need to back her up. She can take care of herself. And yes, I may never get a word in there, but the thing is,
Indeed. She's cut your feed.
She talks exactly, but she gets down to business. She gets down to business. Why? Because she makes sure that my head's not in the clouds, that I'm not sulking in some stupid little corner in the shadows like you and your boys are going to be doing. I mean, with Ruben, he spent most of his time picking a fight because he wanted to get his name back. His name. I don't care about my name. You've clearly seen across the multiverse of leagues, I can toss away the caramel mount and come back in as somebody brand new, and I'll still put out a TKO victory as I've shown in this league. I don't care about a name in this league. I care about making a statement.
And the statement you've just made is that you've taken my formula and have copied it. And you've said that you didn't want to be part of a group, so you didn't, and yet here you are. How did that work out for you? Here you are in a group. You've done exactly what I've done. You've followed my my every move, and as your teacher, I'm flattered. And also, you're the one with your head in the clouds because you are the Caramel Mountain, aren't you not? Mountains go up in the cloud. Maybe you should change your name to the Salted Caramel Hill if you don't go all the way in the clouds, because look, with someone like Alex Mack doing your bidding, your talking, your spitting off for you, it's easy to see that your head is just, well, I don't want to say it. I don't want to sully Corey's show with foul language, but your head is obviously somewhere else if that's the case. So, yeah. I mean, I don't know what you hope to accomplish by coming in here, and you didn't even interrupt this time, Corey. I'm disappointed in you most of all that you brought this. You finally get me here on the Geek Center, and then you bring this clown, this Ultimate Warrior ripoff into my segment here. It just
again, that's funny. I love that. Let me tell you something. This clown is a top 10 contender. A top 10 ranked contender in singles. I am definitely a top 20 ranked, higher than you in Geek. And the fact you already have a solidified spot in World War Geek kind of befuddles me a little bit because, yeah, you had the highest point scored record, but guess what? Records are made to be broken. And I'm shocked that the fact that you couldn't get past Ruben Colon, the man who opened your eyes, pretty much showed exactly where your weakness lies in your game. And that's one thing I swear to God I plan to exploit at World War Geek. Your weakness.
First of all, you want to talk about ranking? You want to talk about my position? Yeah, you just said it. I'm the one who put the high score in the Geek realm. I was the first one. I did it. I have a TKO to my name that was wiped from the record. And why? Why, Corey? Tell us why that was wiped from the record. Because you all want to see me put down. That's what I didn't understand before when I was in the fraction. That's what this is all about. Whenever you all see something that you can't possibly understand and that you're afraid of, you want to smash it. You want to bring it down. You want to get rid of it. You got rid of my TKO. All of you at the powers that be. My ranking should be way higher. Ryan, you would be eating my dust right now if that win hadn't been struck from the record. I don't want to hear about rankings. I don't want to hear about anything. You know what? I don't want to hear from you at all. What I want to hear are your trivia answers. That's right. I said this to you before. If you want to go one-on-one, you want to prove yourself, you want to do something, you want to actually prove you're a mountain of knowledge or of caramel or the secret life of Alex Mack or whatever Nickelodeon shows that she's filled your head with, bring it on. I'm ready for you. I know all of that. I know Keenan and Kel. Let's do Nickelodeon. But no, forget that. Let's do movie trivia. You and me. One-on-one, finally. Let me, just like I put you down in a Marvel battleground, I will put you down here in the face-off. Corey, you make this happen. I yelled at Elk before, and I shouldn't have because he didn't know what to do. I put him on the spot. I'm putting you on the spot. Corey, you make this match happen. You
see, and that is your problem, Marco.
I'm not talking to you anymore, right? I'm talking to Corey. Corey, you make.
Well, guess what? Happen. You have your time is done.
My time is not done. My time will never be done until I get what I want.
All right, both of you. Because I can be upset so hard. Right. And I can't wait to knock that brainwashing material that Ruben has put in your head and made you finally see the light that you made the biggest mistake of your life.
All right, enough. I'm done with this, okay? I brought Ryan in here because I thought you guys would find, maybe just talk it out. Maybe just find some common ground or something. That's obviously not going to happen. Mark, you're absolutely right. Mistakes were made in the past. I can't comment on the regime that happened before me. I had no idea what the deal was there. I'm just trying to pick up the pieces and move forward. Do I owe you one? Yes, I do. And before you even joined the League of Shadows, I booked you in a match against Joe Fairley. So I thought that'd be a good competitive match to get you back up in the rankings. Now you're in the league. You guys have been bitching about that for the last few weeks too. Fine. That match is off. I'll have to figure out a way to make it up to Joe, but I'll deal with Joe later. Now I got to deal with you two, okay? You want a match before World War Greek? I'm ready to give you a match. But you need to decide right now, right here. No talking to faction members, no talking to managers. This is the deal. You guys get a match together the weekend of April 11th and 12th. That's a couple of weeks from now, okay? Mark Camire versus Ryan Payne. But there's a stipulation. Winner obviously gets one more slice on the wheel for World War Geek, increasing your chances at getting number 30. But the loser, out. If you lose that match, you are out of World War Geek, and you are down in the qualifier, and you have to fight your way through that to get back in the main event. Now, I need an answer from both of you right here, right now. What do you say?
So now you want to throw in a stipulation in which you want to take something else from me? When does it end? When does it end?
I'm hearing a lot of yapping. I'm not hearing a lot of agreeing.
Just give him an answer. Here's my answer. It is yes. I'm used to being ignored. I'm used to being underestimated. I'm used to being put down and in a corner. If I got to fight my way back into World War Geek just to shut you up, then believe me, I will take the stipulation and I will have my manager in my corner. So when that victory happens, she can tell you exactly what she thinks about Shadows. Corey, the answer is yes.
All right, Mark, ball's in your court, buddy.
With your manager in your corner, you can continue to be sat in the corner, not speaking, not giving all your having no thoughts to your name. Yeah, okay. You need to be taught a lesson. Just like I was taught a lesson, and now my eyes have seen the true light within the shadows. Yeah, I accept it. I will climb the Caramel Mountain, and I will melt it to its core, because somebody's got to do it. And if it ain't going to be Alex Mack, it's going to be the Maniac.
There you have it. This match is going to happen, folks, the weekend of April 11th and 12th. It'll be premiering that Friday. Mark the Maniac Camire versus Ryan the Caramel Mountain Payne. Loser is out of World War Geek and into the qualifier. Winner moves on. So that means I got a lot of rearranging to do. You had your match with Joe. I got to figure out some way to make it up to Joe Fairley.
You owe me this, Corey.
We're even.
And I have to apologize to Jack. I want to apologize to Jack. We were supposed to be one-on-one next week, but it's clear that I have to descend from my mountain into the shadows to deal with some crazy SOBs. This is a PG show. I want to be respectful, but I got to deal with some people before I can give you my full attention, Jack. Hopefully, I can see you at World War Geek.
Yes, I'll deal with Jack too. We'll get him another match. He's still scheduled for next week. I'll find another rookie. You guys, though, it's happening in April. Be ready to go. Get your studying in, okay? Because this one is going to be a barn burner. Now, I got a ton of stuff on my plate I got to go deal with. Thanks, Mark, for coming on. Ryan, thanks for coming on. You're making my job a lot harder, but we're going to get one hell of a match out of it too. Welcome back to Geek Center, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, I'm taping this a few days after that little interview with Mark Camire and Ryan Payne, where that match was set up, the stipulation match, which is going to be happening next weekend. I misspoke in my anger and said 2 weeks from now. It's actually going to be taping next weekend. But that has a ripple effect on other matches throughout the MTFO here. So we're going to do a little bit of housekeeping here. Now, originally, Mark Camire was going to take on his faction mate, Joe Fairley, which is going to be a tremendous match. I know they weren't super happy about having to face each other, seeing as they're both in the League of Shadows. They let their displeasure be known. So right now, Joe Fairley, that match with Mark Camire is off, and Joe Fairley does not have another match now leading up to World War Geek, which is unfortunate for him. I've talked with Joe. I've made some concessions. He'll be okay. More will be announced after World War Geek. The other match that got affected is one we're taping actually this weekend, actually tomorrow, as I tape this Geek Center here today. Jack Mayer is making his debut this weekend. It was supposed to be against Ryan Payne, but Ryan now got bumped back a week to take on Camire, so we needed a competitor to step up, and that competitor was Jackson the Lantern Latner. one of our editors now in the singles division. He's going to be taking on Jack Mayer. Jackson's 0-2, looking for his first win and to punch his ticket into World War Geek. Jack Mayer coming in here with his debut match, so we'll see how that one goes, which means now we have 2 open slots for matches. Next weekend, we're going to do 2 matches next weekend. Big time Brandon Dunlap was still looking for a competitor, so we were going to do a draw for his competitor for that one. But now also with Jackson moving up, he can no longer take on Andrea the Angel Malabag, which is scheduled for April 25th, 26th. So we're looking for a second opponent there. So a couple times on the Discord server, I put out a call for anybody, and I widened the search even because I wasn't getting a lot of interest, not just rookies, but anybody looking for their first win. I was able to put their name forward for these 2 matches, and I got 3 responses. Those responses were Garth Harkness McMurray, Joseph Hadaway, who's a rookie, and Adam Collins. So out of those 3, we're going to be picking our 2 new opponents for these matches coming up in April. Because there's 3, I'm going to make a concession for the 3rd person who doesn't get picked, and that's this. The first 2 names, we're going to spin a wheel. Looks like so. First 2 names that are picked are going to get the matches. The 3rd person will not get a match, but they will draw the final number in the qualifying match. So the qualifier is going to be free-for-all rules. Might be 10, 11 people. We're not quite sure how many people are going to be in there yet. The person who does not draw a match here today is going to draw that final number in the free-for-all format for the qualifier, increasing their chances of maybe making it out of the qualifier. So here's our 3 names: Adam Collins, Garth Harkness McMurray, and Joseph Hadaway. We are going to spin the wheel twice. The first name is going to be taking on big time Brandon Dunlap next weekend. So let's bring it over here and let's spin the wheel. And the opponent for big time Brandon Dunlap is going to be, looks like it's going to be Joseph Hadaway. Congratulations, Joseph. You've got your first match coming up next weekend here in the MTFO Geek Division, taking on Brandon Dunlap. So we'll remove that name. We got 2 names left: Garth Harkness McMurray and Adam Collins. Whoever wins this spin is going to get the second match against Andrea Malabag, happening at the end of April. Here's the spin. Let's see who's going to get this match. And it's looking like, oh, it's going to be close. Who's it going to be? And it's Garth Harkness McMurray. Garth Harkness is going to take on Andrea Malabag at the end of April. Congratulations, Garth. But that also means Adam Collins, you just drew the last number for the qualifier. You're the final entrant in that match. So congratulations to you too as well. That's a big advantage heading into the qualifier. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that's all the time we have for Geek Center. I know there's a lot going on, a lot of changes happening, but we're all getting very excited for the big event happening at the end of May. We think we've locked down a special commentator to call the match with Andrew the Elk Kelk. Very excited about that. More news on that. In future episodes of Geek Center, as we get closer to the event, I'll actually be doing a little bit of the draw. We're not going to show you all the names and numbers being drawn for World War Geek, but we might show you who's coming in number 1, who's coming in number 15, that kind of thing. Just kind of whet your appetite a little bit for World War Geek. So until then, my name is Corey Marcia. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next week on Geek Center.